back to the Old Soul Millennial channel. So as you saw a moment ago, I just dumped this load of logs on the property. A developer friend of mine said, hey, I have all these logs I need to get rid of. Do you want them? I said, absolutely. I'll never say no to a load of free firewood. He said, only catch is you got to come down here and pick them up. I said, all right, no big deal. So I hooked up the Griffin GT 712 dump trailer to my F-250, shot down there, and I just got back a few moments ago. Now, I'd say we have about 8,000 pounds of logs here. That Griffin GT 712 dump trailer is rated for 12,000 pounds. Now the trailer weighs 4,000. We have about 8,000 pounds of weight that was in the back, so we were right at that 12,000 pound mark. That's the most weight I've ever had in the back of the trailer and the most weight that I've ever towed with the F-250. Performance of the trailer, I'd say the trailer did an excellent job. Drove down the road straight and true. Suspension was terrific, and additionally, I was kind of impressed that it was able to dump this much weight out of the back of the trailer bed. Now there is a sticker that says maximum trailer dump capacity 8,000 pounds. We were right at that mark, but sure enough it was able to do the job. I did hear the hydraulic motor strain a little bit, as you would expect, but it did the job. Now as for the performance of the F-250, I would call it the ultimate towing machine. With that 6.7 diesel and that 10-speed transmission, there's just no stopping that truck. Now in a moment here, I'm going to break out the Mingo automatic firewood marker, and this marks out our logs at 16-inch lengths, and then we'll take the MS-261 and we'll start ripping these logs down to smaller rounds. But before we get into that, I want to talk about chainsaw safety for a moment. Chainsaws are awesome. They're powerful, fun to operate, they accomplish a lot of work, but they're also extremely dangerous if not handled properly. Even the most experienced operators can become complacent and injure, if not kill themselves, if they get distracted. So that's why I find it very, very important to always pay attention to what you're doing, get some good training, learn how to operate the chainsaw, but additionally, you should always carry a first aid kit on your chaps, something that will stop the bleeding. Now, you don't want to buy one of those cheapy first aid kits from the dollar store. You want something that will stop the bleeding. You want a heavy trauma kit. So what I keep on my chaps, first I keep a tourniquet on my right side, and that's always easy to access. And then also I have a little first aid kit bag in the back. In that bag I have an Israeli bandage, roll of gauze, a second tourniquet, and a pair of trauma shears. And also maybe a good idea to add some Quick Clot, although I have heard mixed reviews on Quick Clot. But if you do carry a tourniquet on your person, like I highly recommend, it's important that you practice with that tourniquet. You don't want it in the package, because when you go to use it, if you ever need to use it, trying to rip open the package with an arm partially sawed off, I mean, that's no good. So in a moment here, I'm going to rip out this tourniquet. I'm going to practice applying it to my left arm just to get familiar with it in case I ever need to use it. All right, now let's say I'm using my chainsaw and for whatever reason I decide to put my hand in front of the bar while the chain is spinning. I end up cutting off my left hand. That would never happen, by the way. But on my chainsaw chaps, I have my tourniquet, which is easy to access. It's out of the packaging. So I'm going to whip this out, slide this over my arm, look for the red tab, which this is all Velcro. I'm going to cinch down this Velcro really tight. Now that that Velcro is tight, you're going to look for this tensioning bar. So what you're going to do is twist this bar until the blood stops coming out of the extremity. Which I'm not going to make it too tight because obviously my hand's still attached here. So then you would lock that bar into these locking tabs right here. And take this gray piece of Velcro, put it over the locking tabs, and then notice that there is a timestamp on there. So whenever you apply a tourniquet, it's really important for the doctors to know when you apply the tourniquet. Now, I'm not a doctor, this is by no means an instructional video, but I just kind of want to give you a crash course as to how to apply tourniquets. And now that I've done that, I want to practice utilizing this tourniquet in real time. I've re-stowed it in my pouch, so let's pretend I just cut off my arm. Time.